Good morning. Took a while to take care of a few things. All right. Good morning, Sungmi, Monica, Andrew, and Liam. Andrew, your camera is,
Oh,
I don't know how you can change the angle. Okay. And Liam is participating from, is it Dallas? Liam?
University.
maybe I can share your screen.
Mm. Okay. Let's start. We'll start with Monica. Can you give me updates?
Yes, Dr. J. I will share my screen. So, last lab meeting, I did say that we still have a few patients that we have to go through. While I was trying to figure out why these patients have been excluded, I came to realize that a few more segmentations are still missing. Like from the new 63 patients, there were a few segmentations that were still left to finish. I assume they could not finish, Seong and Sally could not finish up before submitting the abstract. And for the harmonization, the entire column of harmonization was still left to segment. So I started doing that from the last week, and I just have today's work to finish that up. And once I finish up, I will be able to send all the remaining feature extractions that were left, including all the 63 harmonizations and MIP patients to Dr. Yuri.
Mm.
So it was because segmentation takes a lot of time. That's all I could finish up, but there were a lot that I had to go through. So, and also it's like, it's not just segmentation, it's like rechecking everything is correct according to me as well. So I'm pretty much finished. I just have a few left that I will be able to finish by today.
Mm.
And then go back to where we discussed last week,
Mm.
finding out the clinical data of the patients and why they've been excluded, so that we can have the final number of patients and run the data and have our final answers.
Mm.
So I have been doing last week, sorry.
Mm. Okay. And so what is the plan?
So the plan is, from my side, I'm just trying to finish all the part that we have to do from our side. And as soon as we finish every segmentation feature extraction, sending them to Dr. Yuri. And once everything has been sent, it will start writing up the paper. I'm also collecting papers, relevant papers, and I'm going through them. And soon I will start writing them up. And once I get all the data from Dr. Yuri, including harmonization, non-harmonization for the patient population, I'll just add it up in the results sections and everything.
So what are the patient numbers in terms of the plan?
So in terms of the plan, it's 170 for now, but there are a lot of patients that have been excluded, which I am not very sure of why. If you can see, there's like 159. There's no reason to why this patient has been excluded. And I tried to ask Seong, but she wasn't sure either. So might have to go back and look each and every thing regarding these patients to figure out if they actually have been excluded, or we can still request ICOM files or see what has to be done to try to include them. But if I'm not able to, if these are the patients that has to be excluded anyhow, it should be 170.
Who excluded this patient?
So this was excluded by Dr. Jion and Seong because they were the ones who received the DICOM files, and a lot of reasons, like the DICOMs have been requested, but they're like non-contrast images. A few of them have only lymph nodes, but no tumor lesions. So some has similar reasons. I have most of the reasons already figured out. It's just a few left that I still have to figure out to why they've actually been excluded.
So make sure in the paper, the reason, the whole screening process, non-contrast CT was how many? People with, this reason was how many? So, the flow charts for the figure 1. So work on that. And did you make SOP of radiomics?
I have not, but I plan to do it very soon.
Okay. So yeah, the workflow, number of patient, who did what was the timeline, what's the future plan? It has to be really comprehensive, has to have a title of the project and the rationale of the project and the method of the project. So if someone doesn't know what we're doing, looking at SOP, what is it all about, who's doing what timeline, and what's the next plan, and how many patients are all involved in those steps. So it has to be comprehensive. So work on that, Monica.
Yes, because I have to, it's like give proper reasoning for why these patients have been included or why these patients have been excluded. That's my main. Also, because of that, I'm trying to figure out this particular exclusion list for now.
Yeah, so if Dr. Chian put a valid reason, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. If there isn't a clear reason, those are probably there is reason there, they just didn't record it, but for the sake of even for the flow chart, like why was this, we don't know the reason, then you can't make the flow chart. So just feel like you, for that reason only, you still have to look at it. So thanks for being very thorough. I mean, like it's being honest about the data. You can fake the data, you can't assume the data, right? So you have to trust the data, you have to make sure it's the right data before we run it. So I think it's all about our conscious, it's just being very clean and be true to ourselves. And I know it's tedious, but I think you're doing a great job. So all right, any questions or anything?
Not for now, Dr. Chae, but I will have to discuss about the title and everything to what the main focus of our paper should be. Should we focus on harmonization or should it be just the radiomics?
So our face, so so yeah, we have different posters. So what we're gonna combine all the posters for Dr. Yuri's project, it will be response prediction and adverse event prediction all together. It's before and after harmonization. So it's going to be just one paper with many different points. And we'll include all of those keywords in a title. So do you have a poster or that you can share on screen?
I have to check. Just give me a minute. I might have the one from Sitsi.
And Monica, Seong made a SOP for the radiomics project, so I think you can just add on to that. So it's like one set of SOP instead of making it brand new one.
Sure. I can add up, but I think it's more like an SOP for me. I'll check and I'll let you know.
So just updating that I think would be important because this is like the first phase of the thing, but then the EDW, I think that's gonna be also like radio mix related later on. So
I understand. But I will send the video mix. Liam, do you have that poster?
not right now. You should have it.
I should have it. Just the abstract. I'm not being able to.
Oh, just show me the abstract then.
Uh,
Okay.
This is the one which was presented in SITSI. We also have the abstract which we presented for AACR. We submitted
Yeah.
that.
So the title of the paper would be radiomics features to predict tumor response, biomarker status.
Or Monica, can you pull up the ones we submitted to AACR?
Yeah, sure.
That's the most recent ones. I think that might be better.
Harmonization radiomics model to predict tumor response in non-small cell lung cancer patients treated with immunotherapy. Tumor response, so you're going to say tumor response, comma, biomarker status, comma, and immune, I guess, immune-related adverse events, IRAEs, immune-related adverse events in non-small cell lung cancer. Or you can use that term, checkpoint, immune checkpoint inhibitor. Oh, that's pneumonitis. So this is gonna be all adverse. Well, wait, we're only looking at pneumonitis. So you could say checkpoint inhibitor related pneumonitis. That's fine. So do that. And that's gonna be your title. So it's going to be one paper that has everything inside. Yeah. So let's work on finalizing our total number and rerun the analysis. And based on that, let's write the paper. And when is your last day, Monica?
Last day in the lab?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Feb. We still have some time.
Yeah, but tell me.
Feb 15. I guess 15 or 20. My flight is on 22nd, so Just a day before my, let's just assume I need a day before, so 20th Feb.
Yeah, okay. I will put that. I don't think Seyoung will be here before then, right? So,
She will not. She said maybe sometime around mid of March.
okay. But yeah, once she's done with her exam, she should be able to still remotely work with you. But you know, this is both of you can continue to work, whatever you can finish here. You know, my expectation is you before you leave, you submit the paper. And that requires a lot of work, but I understand, but it's really good to really take ownership. And you know, work hard to publish it, okay? So that's my expectation, but hopefully Seong can help you. And whatever you can finish, Seong can continue to work on it with you. So, all right, any questions?
Not,
Okay. And even for so if you run the total patient and find something different, how many patients are we adding for your Dr. Yuri if you finish your data cleaning?
so I can send, let me share my screen one more time. Sorry. So for the abstract, we were able to send out of 127 patients, we had 20 for MIP, for which only 11 segmentations were sent previously and 118 total. And from the new 67 patients, we were able to only send 48. So now we will be able to send 63 total and from finish all the MIP. So we had only 11 putting up, and now we have finished 9 more. So 179.
The 179 is our goal.
Yes, Dr.
And then for the SITC, how many we used?
For SITSI, it was only 127.
Okay. All right. So once we, you know, get to 173 and get new results, I think we can shoot for either ASCO or the following lung ISLAC meeting, EISSLC, is in September, San Diego. So depending on when we finish that analysis, let's shoot for that deadline. So, Liam, when is ASCO deadline?
ASCO is in February. So the plan was to update all of these data points and submit the full data set to ASCO for both Dr. Yuri and Picture Health.
Yeah. So let's keep that. And if that can happen, the next one is ISLAC. So yeah, so put that deadline in the SOP and yeah.
In terms of the time frame, I think we're in good hands
Mhm.
because we have enough, like plenty of time to do it. I think the only thing is if we don't get accepted to ASCO, we can submit to ISLAC.
Yeah, that sounds good. Great. Okay, Liam, anything to add about the radiomics project in general?
No, not really. Just one thing, Monica. So when you finish, updating the finalized data set, we have to send it to both Yuri and to Picture Health.
Yes, yes. For
Mm.
picture health, I believe the new 63 has not been sent. Any among those have not been shared.
Mhm.
Is right?
Yes. Yes.
For Dr.
So
Yuri, it just has to be the ones which we have not sent. But for picture health, the remaining from 127 and all of the 63, right?
mhm. So with Picture Health, you can work with Will and Sally once they get here to send those over.
Okay. I think I will be able to finish with all the segmentations and all by today, maximum tomorrow. So the only thing left is to figure out the exclusions to why the patients have been excluded. If that is figured out, I think we should be good to go to send all the data files to both Picture Health and Dr. Yuri.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay. What about Lunit? Have we sent radiomics to Lunit yet?
The radiomics to Lunit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in process of sending those files over. It's just a really slow process. I don't know if it's the computers or if it's like the cloud that's really slow. But Will's been working on it constantly. I don't know what the status is, but I don't think we've even gotten through half of it yet. So like each time he tries to upload, it takes like a couple of hours.
Hmm. And does it have to be done through computers here?
It does not. We've also tried on his like newer MacBook laptop, and
Yeah.
it's not that much different.
Is it because the cloud is in, I don't know, where is the cloud?
So they use a platform called Box.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like Dropbox, but like a different company.
Hmm.
So I assume it's just the cloud itself where it just takes a while for us to upload. And we've been having the same issue with Picture Health as well. Like anytime we try to upload anything to like a third party cloud, it takes a really long time.
Wow. So for one DICOM file, how long?
It really varies because DICOM files can be like smaller ones can take maybe like 15-20 minutes. Like that would be like the minimum time. But then like the bigger files can take up to like a couple of hours.
Hmm. Okay. I guess Liam, you or you Chan or anybody in the lab can, get that going while they're doing other stuff because it's
Mhm. Yeah.
uploading.
So they have that running constantly in the background as they're like doing EDW screening or any other tasks.
Okay.
Mhm.
Wow. A lot of technical barriers here. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Anything else about radiomics before we move on?
That's it for me.
Okay. Okay. About the EDW, I think while Dr. Andrew is here, we could have him do some screening for our patients.
Yes. Dr. Singmi, do you have any updates on that?
Yeah, EDW.
No, it's a matter of collecting data. And if June is interested, is something could also help. So yeah, it's so Uni gave me a really good sign out. Um, so it's like maybe I could probably do 100 before aim to do 100.
Hmm.
Um, because one patient takes like 20 minutes, 15 minutes, like 10 if I do it really quickly. 10 minutes maybe, but more like 15 to 20.
Hmm. But
Mm.
you had no, tricky cases, or it's pretty straightforward?
No, I haven't worked much on that one yet. Yeah, I haven't started much on it yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, the whole idea is, for you to learn, same thing, Andrew, about what's adjuvant, what's, neoadjuvant, how are we treating those patients, and what variables are of interest. So yeah, that. Okay, Singmi, any updates on what you've been doing? Like any questions,
Uh,
comments?
yeah, I have a journal club. It's
Yeah,
on the
we'll do it.
question.
We'll do it last. But as far as the projects goes,
Dr. Chae, I cannot hear you.
you can't hear me? I
Sorry, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So any questions, update on projects that you
So cancer, the one I started way back, they all three reviewers have made comments, but the editor will decide, make the final decision and
Mm.
get back to us.
the
So
Signatera paper?
yeah, the whole people. And EDW, it's very similar to the data I collected back then. So I'll bring up cases as I do more. And then that's it. That's it really for me.
Okay, great. We'll get back to you on the journal club.
Yep.
Andrew, any comments, questions, anything?
I'll help with Monica, what
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Liam just asked me about
Mm,
data collecting.
yeah.
Nothing specific other than that.
Okay. And because Andrew, you are interested in double lung transplant, I think one great project would be to make a PowerPoint presentation. Let's say imagine we're doing a grand round and we have a audience who do not know why we're doing double lung transplant for lung cancer patients. They think it's crazy idea. And when Dr. Jian was here, she published 3 papers on double lung transplant. I am very sad because the very first Albert Curie case report is still not published. Uh, and Seungmi, are you part of it? No?
Not really.
Okay. So, Dr. Eugene is kind of in charge, and we're kind of frustrated why that didn't happen. And we wanted to publish that case report at least so any paper we write, I'm gonna have a lab policy, and Liam, you could be the enforcer to do the preprint, meaning there's a Cold Spring Harbor one, which is the Bio RXV, there's Med RXV. Lancet has their own preprint. So it's a way of make your article public without peer review, and people understand it. But that way you can claim that you are the first generator of that knowledge content.
That kind of
So I don't know. Liam, keep following with Dr. Eugene where her papers are, and also regarding uh let's say the preprint, like everything she wrote, I want to make sure she upload into the preprint journals. So I know we have that Google Doc file of, kind of seeing where things are. So let me know after you follow up with her, Dr. Eugene. And also, she said she might be able to make it to the lab retreat tomorrow. If so, Dr. Liam, can you see if she can lead the praise? And let me know if
Sure.
that would be really good.
Yep, I can definitely reach out.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, and then Andrew, Singmi, and Monica, are you going to be available? We're gonna have a lab retreat, 3 p.m. And Dr. Isol Kim graciously opened up her conference room in her apartment. So, but Liam, she's not available, right? She's working at that time.
I believe so.
Okay. Okay, and I'm thinking we can have dinner after that. Quick dinner after the retreat. So it'd be good. Maybe Sungmi, you can make reservation. See if Eugene's coming, then Eugene can come. So it'll be Sungmi, Andrew, Monica, um, Eugene if she comes, and myself. So it's 5 of us. Reach out to Jin Young and William, Sungmi. See if they can join us uh for the for the retreat if they're not. I mean, I don't know if they're working or not. But anyway, and make reservation for 5 people at the Italian restaurant, which is Volaire. To me, you know the place, right? Yeah. So maybe like 5:30. Okay, that's for tomorrow. Okay, so Andrew, I'll give you a task. So today, tomorrow. So yeah, by Friday, you can finish making the PowerPoints. For that, you would have to understand why we're doing lung transplant. And Liam, you have a template from Dr. Barat, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so you can share that. And Dr. Chion Lee made another PowerPoint for me. So I'll give those to you. It's your job to make it presentable and you need a logic. What was the data? And Liam, maybe you have it or through Eugene O, because she wrote the very first Albert Curie paper. It's already, it has figures and tables already there. So Andrew, I will forward you all 3 Jian's paper as well as a Jian's PowerPoint. And then Liam, you forward Bharat's PowerPoint to me and Andrew both.
Sure.
And have Eugene O, if you don't have it, Liam, Eugene O forward her full paper to Andrew. And then also the previous posters for uh our dream study. You can forward that to Andrew. And then most importantly, the update on the results of the DART that we submitted to ACR. That abstract that Tarek wrote, forward that to I just want to take another look at it, myself and Andrew again, okay?
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, let's do that. So I'll be a perfect project for you, Wonjun. And yeah, Because double lung transplant, we are doing a lot of exciting things, and you'll be updated on that. And if you, but you're leaving on Tuesday, so you can't be on a lab meeting because you're gonna be on a flight.
Yeah, sorry.
Is it what? It's okay. What time is the flight?
It's in the morning, so early morning.
What time?
10:30. 10:30.
10:30.
Yeah.
So you'll get on board 9:30. So if you get on board 8, you can.
Oh, I can maybe do it at the airport then.
Yeah, that's what I always do. I'm just waiting 1 hour. Usually I do a lot of things.
Yes, sir.
So you can still come and sort of yeah, and then I can give you feedback on your PowerPoint presentation. I mean, you don't have to present, but show slides, and I can kind of give back feedback on the slides, and that will be really great for the lab members too. Okay, very good. I know you're really good at making good PowerPoints, so aesthetically and so maybe yeah, study what makes good PowerPoint presentation. And what I've been using is, if you use PowerPoint, they use AI to generate nice, yeah,
I know that.
yeah, it's so good. And my slides have improved so much in design based on that. So yeah. And then every slide should have a nice citation there, okay? That's the basic. Anyway, that would be a nice project for you while you're here for a week. Of course, learn how to do the EDW and maybe some segmentation. Watch how Monica is doing it. I just want you to learn what we're doing here. But that would be a good project for you. Okay, Liam, updates from you.
Yes, just a couple of things today that I wanted to run by you. Give me one moment. Let me just share my screen. Okay. So one thing I wanted to discuss with you, is so I've reached out to the thoracic surgery department to see if they had, I reached out to like their research coordinators and wanted to see if they had like a list of neoadjuvant or adjuvant patients. Unfortunately, they didn't have anything like that. There is a research like list that they keep, but for IRB purposes, they're not able to share that with us. One thing they did suggest was like if we wanted to do a more thorough data pull from the EDW, they have like an EDW analyst who charges $85 an hour and was suggesting they might be able to help us pull a more like accurate and detailed data set. So I just wanted to, bring this to your attention. I don't know if this is something we want to entertain for any of our current projects or in the future. But yeah, just wanted to let you know. Do you think this might be something we want to look into at some point, or are you okay with us just kind of doing what we're doing right now?
I don't like it because it says October 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's gonna, we don't have much neoadjuvant data there.
Mm.
What does that mean? You have to have an exempt status received from the EDW.
So like for researchers, we need to get access to Epic through like this exempt status with EDW. So this is for like researchers.
But we have separate IRB protocol, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so you're okay.
Yeah. 85 per hour to pull the data. Wow.
So, yeah, just let me know if you had any thoughts on that later on, if you have any.
Yeah.
Another thing was, I don't know if you got contacted from the contracting office about this at all. So I was talking to the contracting office. This is Adrienne. They're saying the agreement involving the sending of human subject samples is on hold pending the Office of General Counsel and Rex uh, Kishholm. Joe Klein and Rex should be in contact with him, as in you, Dr. Chae, about these agreements in the near future.
Hmm.
Uh, so I'm not sure because I like these seem to be more important, like high level discussions that are being directed at you. So obviously I didn't get any communication regarding these directly,
Hmm.
but all I'm seeing on some of the CC'd emails that I receive is that our biomarker study contracts are on hold,
Hmm.
pending some kind of a review of Office of General Counsel.
Hmm.
And I've been told like this is a new something new that's holding all the contracts right now. So we have a hold on a lot of our contracts in the biomarker study. Have you
Hmm.
been contacted about any of this?
I don't remember, but I certainly can search for it.
Okay.
I'll look for it and maybe we can follow up.
I think it'll be important. Um, yeah. To me, I don't have all the details, but to me, it sounds like all of our biomarker contracts are like on hold again.
Again.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see. So yeah, I think that's something we should look into. The next thing is with the two SWOG TM proposals.
Yeah.
We've submitted it to Christina
Yeah.
and Megan sent back a couple of questions and comments. So in the proposal, we listed that SWOG stats team will be performing the statistical analysis. And she was saying that means that I need to develop a full statistical plan for each, including power calculations, etc. Do you want to include us on this? I want to double check before I start doing that work. If you do want me to do stats, I need additional information before I can do the work.
Hmm.
So is this what we were expecting and
So
wanting the
yes.
SWOG stats to
So
do?
yes, Megan doing it.
Okay.
And then do you want that? Yeah, additional information. So this is all binomial. So risk is positive and negative, meaning positive is a good risk, negative is a poor risk.
Mhm.
And just very simple PFS and OS separation response rate, PFS OS separation based on it. And then there's like a 12-month progression. So we have, they have another endpoint like 12-month PFS. But let's just leave that out. Like I think Dart, it's hard to see who's getting to 12 months. So just a regular response rate PFS OS according to the two yes or no variable. Yeah. Oh, and then there's IRAE. IRAE. Yeah, all grade and grade 3, 4. IRAE prediction. Yeah. Is it going to be done on patients with residual samples after CMAC and cell gene? It's not cell gene, it's circulogene. Circulogene. circular gene have been used up. I think they only need like microliters, something like very small. Just say because it's less than 1 cc, less than 500.5 cc, it should not affect other samples. So we plan on sending all samples, all available samples to them. Proposal lists toxicity and endpoint, but isn't in the objectives. They're objective related. If so, I need a lot more detail on which toxicity, which time point. Yeah, so it's all grade and grade 3, 4. So we're gonna do toxicity yes or no as like a binomial. And then we're gonna do time to toxicity as like a survival analysis, like a time to toxicity analysis.
And are we looking at just AEs and IRAEs or just IRAEs?
Just IRAs. So in the objective, I think we have to say predict response and predict response. We can say, I don't know. We can make it, yeah, IRAs, predict response and predict IRAE as like two separate, like number 1, number 2, two separate objectives of the project in the proposal. So I think that would be good.
Okay. And for these samples, so like we plan on sending all samples available, but that's definitely after CMAC and circular gene, right? Like we're not gonna take away from their samples if they don't have enough.
I actually think this is more important. So I don't, yeah, I would say I understand they are important, but I would say because I'm just gonna say because we are not, it's not going to affect their analysis by taking out this small number of samples. So yeah, so let's still do it. Let's still do it on
Okay.
all available. Yeah.
Understood. And then same thing for Lunit then.
Are you thinking you can get 18 slide from CMAC and ship to Lunit? We don't have digital. This is Megan's question.
Yes. Megan question for the Lunit TM proposal.
So this is so I'm hoping Lunit can fly to the to the swag repository where H&E slides are and scan them all. And then they can put, they can upload that to their cloud, they can analyze and just give us their final Lunit score. And then based on the Lunit score, it will be all binary. It will be inflamed versus non-inflamed. In the non-inflamed, there's excluded and desert, right? So I guess the purpose of an analysis we'll have two groups. But in the secondary aim or secondary analysis, we can do three group analysis: inflamed, excluded, and desert, immune desert. So when I talked to CMAC, yes, they took some slides. But I don't think they took the samples, but I don't think they took H&E slides. So H&E slides are still, so even the SWOG is their own repository. I think it's in Cincinnati Children's Hospital or something.
So it's still the SWOG repository.
Yeah, that's what I was last told. But we can confirm that. I don't think CMAC, which is MD Anderson for us, I don't think CMAC is um holding H&E there.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't, so CMAC analysis is only done in selected cohort, right? Like a thyroid, neuroendocrine.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the whole slides are all in SWOG repository. So I don't want to work with CMAC on this, feel because I don't think they have all the slides. They don't. I don't know how they scanned it if they did. So yeah, that's my plan. Just and it only for the ones that's, let's say we don't have H&E slide, SWOG, CMAC took it, and then we'll just have to have CMAC, MD Anderson scan it and give it to us. But I'm thinking that's not the case. But I think that's the part we have to confirm. So Liam, this is a good. So CC me and Megan, and ask Kara Haymaker.
Okay.
You can CC Hesong as well. And say, we have H&E slide imaging project. Within your MD Anderson group, do you scan H&E slides, or do you or does well, that's one question. Another question is, do you did you bring all the H&E slides from the SWOG repository to MD Anderson lab? Or did you return it? Or did you scan those? Are kind of logistic questions. For Kara.
Yeah.
Because Megan may not know. But I'm pretty sure last time I spoke to someone in CMAC, they said they don't keep H&E slides, they don't have it. But I don't know. I think we have to clarify it. Yeah. Okay, next. Too open and vague. Oh yeah, primary endpoint of this would be same thing. Response. Let's pick one response. Oh, what PFS OS and response rate. I mean, like, response rate, resist based, everything resist based. Response rate, PFS OS is the clinical response outcome. I don't know how TIL's going through, and the secondary analysis is let's do the same thing. Secondary, it's the same language you used for the IRAE prediction. Yes, no, binomial, or time to toxicity. And that toxicity is all grade for or grade 3, 4 only. So let's see how, and that's just make that that make that a secondary objective. How the till can affect adverse events. I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna relate or if it's not gonna relate. So yeah, that's gonna be just secondary.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and update that and send it over to Megan and check with Kara on the status of the H&E slides.
Mhm.
And then just one final update from me is we submitted the BAC Dart Cohort to JTO yesterday.
Uh-huh.
And for now, it's submitted like as a subscription article, which I think is going to be free for us. The other option was the open access option was $3,400. So I just submitted with the
Yeah,
cheap.
yeah. So default is subscription. Open access is if that's mandatory, then you discuss with me about the price and we just
Mm.
submit it.
Yeah, so
So
it's been
guys,
submitted.
a lot of articles are very expensive just to submit.
Yeah.
It's coming from my own grant, but that's what they do these days. Okay.
Okay. And that's it from me.
Okay. Great. All right. I think we can wrap up. Oh, Will is here.
Hi.
Any update from
Uh,
you, Will?
I I would say, sorry, I cannot turn on the camera because I look a little, a
That
little,
it's
I
okay.
guess like, yeah. So, I don't have like major updates. We like last week, before Dr. Eun left, we found out that we might have to make some changes on the EDW screening,
Mm,
you know, given that we like compile like removed all the duplicates and made it into 2,300 patients,
mm,
and that, you know, when when um we knew that like during last week's like lab meeting that we might have to include small cell lung cancer patients as well.
mm,
We are trying to rescreen those that were excluded, like from the first like patients that were like already screened,
mm,
and then from now on, for the screening, we will include like small cell lung cancer patients as well. But we won't we will just like mark it, I guess, like just color it in yellow or something, so that in the future, when we need the data, we could possibly just use it. So we're just like making some changes to the guidelines for EGW.
mm.
Yeah.
Did you make
Um,
SOP?
I did make an SOP, and it's under our radio drive.
Do you want
Both
to
both
show it to us?
Of course, yeah. Give me a sec.
Is that did you make it or did you make it with Uni?
I did make it, but Uni kind of like reviewed it. Mm, Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Oh, and this was actually also discussed with whenever Seong was here, we kind of like went it over together to make sure that, you know, we're not missing anything.
Okay, go down. Okay.
And then the updated version is on OneDrive. SOP. Yeah. I just like added these ones to like make it clear.
Yeah, go down.
And
Yeah.
this is basically just the same thing.
Oh, okay.
And these YouTube videos are just like, I just have put them like, you know, just to guide like the undergrads on how to like find like stuff. But that's that's all.
Okay, looks good. Great.
And then
So yeah, Sally's onboarding on the 11th. So sure, Liam, you can work with Yu Chan to make sure Sally gets everything and be on board. Okay.
I'm actually trying to like make a call with her so that I could kind of like pass all the like Inzu and get all the stuff to Sally.
Yeah.
Yeah, like within this week, I'm hoping. Because she has, I think she's still like in the finals week
Yeah.
or not. She's like graduating this weekend
When
or
are you
so.
coming back?
I'm coming at the afternoon of 20th.
20th?
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, make sure she's up running on 11th. So yeah, give all your sign out to her because she'll be in lab 11. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you gonna be in lab on the last 2 weeks of December?
I will most likely.
Okay.
Um, if you're meeting on the week of Christmas and
So week of Christmas is a working week. Only the 25th is the holiday for the hospital. So I am working, but I don't plan to come in. I'm gonna work from home. But anybody who's not taking official days off should be coming into the lab and work here.
Dr. Chae, do you have clinics on 28th and 28th and 29th?
I
Like the week
don't.
of Christmas?
No, I
You don't?
don't.
Okay.
I'm gonna work from home.
Gotcha.
Okay. Any questions? Tell me about Lunit. What the problem is?
So Lunit, okay. Here's the thing. Lunit, so whenever we like ran their slide de-identifier like program, we weren't able to like locate the patient information when we opened the slides. And then so I received like we had to like backtrack like all of the stuff. And then we did like check all the SVS numbers and like patient like numbers and stuff. But what we found was that there were like 11 duplicated numbers that we were not able to like locate like which patient corresponds to like which slide. So we're trying to like figure out how we could kind of like go through like these like duplicates, because like the first I would say batch, like the first how should I say, like um like first slides, like before they were labeled with the numbers, it's like a it's like a mixed series of like whole different combination of like letters and um like numbers and stuff. And so in order to like backtrack those duplicated like numbers, we have to and like basically just check like every single um one of those files, and that's gonna take a while. So we're trying to like kind of see what shortcuts we might have, just to deal with this.
So how long have you been dealing with this? Is this a fixable problem or?
Um, Honestly, I'm not quite sure. I've been working on it over like several weeks. Um,
Did you discuss it with
and
Liam?
I think we did with Dr. Liam, but we haven't like gone through it like in depth.
So I actually don't understand. I mean, I know you explained, but I don't get it. So
So for like what we primarily discussed with Will back
uh,
then was with regards to the pathomics. So it was more with regards to the radiomics data set that we were sending to Picture Health.
mm-hmm,
And we were trying to identify the among the patients we were sending to Picture Health, how many of them had the path slides, the H&E slides from Dr. Esol's project from before.
mm-hmm.
We have like several dozens of H&E slides scanned that we've already sent to Lunit, and we received
Yeah,
like 10 recently. So among those, how many of those matched with the Picture Health data set so we can
yeah.
send it to Picture Health? So that's what we were looking at. And we were able to find the patients, but then in that process, we and we don't know like who uploaded it when, but there was like a period where there were like duplicated slides we could not identify. But Will and I, we were able to backtrack and identify half of them, right, Will?
Yeah, around half of them.
So for example, like there would be like patient like 11 and 11-1, but then
Mm,
these would be from different patients. And
mm,
so we had to figure out like who 11 was and who 11-1 was.
mm,
And so we were able to identify half of them that were relevant for Picture Health.
mm-hmm.
But then the other half we I don't think we still have figured it out, right, Will?
We haven't, yes.
Yeah. And for
It's just a matter of time. Like if you spend enough time looking back, you can identify them.
I don't think so, right, Will?
Um, Basically, we might have to like dig all of the um was it radiomics files that we received from Dr. Liesel?
The pathomics, you mean?
Pathomics files? Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So
So
I'm not exactly sure where the problem lies with the current issue at hand. Because like Lunit did receive all of the H&E slides that we've received so far, and Picture Health received everything that we can give them. Right, Will? Yeah, so I'm not sure exactly what Dr. Isol or like the 10 slides that she was referring to, I'm not exactly sure which one she's referring to. So I don't know if that is this problem or if it's a different problem.
So Will, did you talk to Dr. Iser? What did you talk to her about what she wants?
Yeah, we actually made a group chat, but we're just like waiting for her response.
But what did she ask? Did you understand or you didn't get it?
So she was
So we just started the
uh
group chat and I think she's
yeah.
at work, so her responses are a little slow right now. So we've only gotten to the point that so the only thing she told us is she needs to use the de-identifying the anonymizer software. That's all we know so far.
Okay, what Lunit wants is I'll send it to you guys. Yu-chan and Liam. Okay, I just sent it to you now, and it says in Northwestern, we send them 13 patients up to until now. And among them, 4 patients had second line IO. And we believe there must be first line chemo history. Can you find that chemo history? In the yellow highlight lesion. It should be done before December 15th. So we need to find out who this patient is by looking at the patient ID. Patient ID 12, 22, 23.
Okay. So this might be a different problem then. And I haven't received the email yet. I'll just give it a few minutes.
Yeah.
I can share my screen if you haven't like received it.
I just got it.
Oh, got it.
So can you tell me why the anonymizer is not working? Will?
So yeah, like it anonymizer, I think like the program itself is working. It's just that we're not able to find the label, like the patient information of those SVS files that we have. That's the problem that we're facing.
I don't understand. Why you keep record of what program you run to get what? Is it
Um, so the so this program that we received from Lunit, it's basically give me a sec.
So based on the Liam, looking at the email, we need chemo history for the paper.
Yeah, look at the email. It seems like we just need to
We don't,
update the
yeah,
clinical variables. It's not about the slides.
right, but it has patient ID, so we still go back and find who those patients are?
We should be able to, yes.
Okay. Okay, then
Because at the very least, like this is I think this is from the initial like slides that we sent to Lunit with Dr. Isol.
yeah,
So I think at the very least she would have all of that like information.
okay. Hmm.
So maybe she was just trying to use the anonymizing software for a different set of slides that's unrelated to this.
Maybe, I don't know. Okay. I guess once she's here, it will be, I don't want to delay this project.
Mhm.
So, Liam, do you have access to the Epic?
I yes, if you are okay with me accessing through your remote access.
Yeah. Then do me a favor. So, since Dr. Liesel is working and I know she's coming, but I wanna, save time as much as possible. If you can go in and get chemo history for those three patients, and I'll review it with Dr. Iser when she's here and see if there's anything else we need for the slides. If this is retrievable, easy, I mean, you can help with that sometime this morning, or yeah, before 2 o'clock. So yeah, can you work on it, on filling the blanks, and send it to me and Dr. Iser once you collect the chemo data for these patients? And you can work with Will, because I don't know which to identifying these patients.
Yes, so I am definitely able to do that, except I think I'm going to have to get the MRNs from Dr. Isol.
Why you don't have it?
Yeah, because I think this is from like the initial project that she was doing with Lunit. So
Uh-huh.
I think she has the key.
Oh, she has the key.
Mhm.
She has the MRN.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But if she's able to help me identify the patients, I can look those up definitely. Yeah. I'll me and will be in communication with Dr. Isol and try and sort this out throughout the day, and then make as much progress we can. And hopefully we'll be able to resolve it today.
Okay. Okay. Um, okay. So so pathomics. We sent everything we can, and we're just trying to get the path meeting
Yes.
and then collect more.
Mhm. Dr.
Uh,
Alexis did say he will send more, but we don't know when that will be.
okay. Mm. And did you talk to PathCore that for the last trial we're not using them?
Let me double check. I that might have.
Yeah. Okay. So the pathologist, the path core director recommended if
Mhm.
this doesn't go through, he's the next person that we can ask. So we'll do that. I think that's most important. Okay. So anonymizer is working, right? Is working, and if we send more slides, we can do it, right?
Oh yes, as long as we have the
Yes.
slides, we can definitely do it. And like the process has gotten a little bit easier for us.
Hmm.
So once the pathologist gives us the H&E slides, we like there's a new system where like it's a new like system where we have to submit a work order to
Hmm.
Dr. Lee Cooper's department where they can digitize and scan and digitize the slides.
Hmm.
But it is one like extra step, but by doing so, they're actually able to provide us with de-identified slides.
Hmm.
So in a sense, it actually makes our workflow easier because as we submit that work order or request to Dr. Lee Cooper's department, they can scrub the identifiers and give that to us. And that way we can just share it with our partners.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Anything else? So then let's take like 10-minute break and then we'll do journal club. Okay, let's regroup.
It won't be long.
It's okay. Okay, let's begin. 승미.
Hi, I could begin my journal club.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh, so, so the topic was basically neoadjuvant immunotherapy in the neoadjuvant setting, and I think Dr. Chae did want to discuss about toxicity. That could be a problem in neoadjuvant, but yeah. So I kind of did a quick review on to brush up my knowledge on basic things. It wouldn't be a long presentation, but I think it will give us an idea. So, see. Just really briefly terminology. So if it's before surgery, like systemic therapy is neoadjuvant, after is adjuvant. Induction is a little different in that we are trying to downsize the tumor. There is that concept, downgrade the size of the tumor. Yeah, these are the typical endpoints that we use in studies, but like but in neoadjuvant clinical trials, what's different is that we use these criteria, these surrogate. One is major pathological response, just less than 10% viable tumor in a surgical specimen. CPR is when there's none. It's one of the reasons why it's used is because it takes a long time to reach the overall survival. And these clinical trials are happening very fast and allowing for these um, surrogates, which have proven in this study that it is associated with less risk of death and less disease-free, decrease in disease-free survival. So there is some correlation. That's why we're using these targets. And one of the other terminologies that might be confusing is people divide early and advanced. And regarding this point, it's kind of complicated, but so Dr. Chae, correct me if I'm wrong, but my impression was that early means it's resectable and advanced is when it's not resectable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because some of the stage 3 are unresectable, you have to go into the details of the staging. But in most cases, what I've highlighted here would be the typical candidates for early stage cancer clinical trials. Oh, sorry, not this, not sorry. One of the is a little extended, so the MA is not included. So the MA line, that's definitely not included. And one of the thing that we would like to talk about is that between B1B and 2A is that the size of the tumor that differentiates the which is the T size, is 4 centimeters. That differentiates between 1B and 2A. That's one point. And N2 is on the one side, and N3 is on the other side. So, or somewhere like clavicular. So it's more extensive when it's N3, but N2, it's considered early. Regarding immunotherapy, that's another terminology that people might want to get familiar with. I would discuss it very briefly later, but the fact that immune check inhibitors, which is immunotherapy, has durable responses and longer survivals in advanced is one of the reasons. So there's a lot of things proven there and incorporated into the guidelines, which is why they're also interested in seeing them in early stage. So immune checkpoint inhibitors, very in layman's term, they could like turn on or off like immune response. They're on this proteins on the surface of cells, and we could use monoclonal antibodies to target. And if it's on the T cells, and we usually PD-1 is an off switch, that keeps refrain from attacking other cells. But when we inhibit the PD-1 and PDL ligand, then it will activate the T cells. And these are the medications. And there's also another class called CTLA4 which also works in T cells, and it's known that the anti-CTLA-4 and anti-PD-1 are driven by distinct cellular mechanisms. So that's why they're sometimes used together. The rationale, so why are we using neoadjuvant therapy? So this is in general applies to general as well. 1 to 3 is it downsizes, it increases R0, which is when there is no surgical species, no pathological specimen, a complete resection in all surgical margins. And also we could treat micrometastatic disease that can't be seen radiologically. And also it's like a in vitro testing to see if the drug is working. But what is more applicable to our topic is that it's when it's neoadjuvant ICS-based regimens, then it is also a little theoretical, but um there is we could prime the T cells and then prior to getting the definitive treatment and systemic surveillance or adjuvant later. Um, so in the checkpoint study, I think it was a checkpoint study that showed that the number of T cells clones that were found in the tumor and peripheral blood increased after the PD-1 blockade. So there is like increase in the clones in the peripheral blood after. Um, and that actually had improved PFS and overall survival in the and in based on that we could suggest that the chemotherapy can result in tumor cell kill, which releases more neoantigens that results in greater priming of T cells, and this has a longer effect, which is immunological memory. So in the setting of what's used in the neoadjuvant setting, if it's chemotherapy, just chemotherapy, then meta-analysis has shown that there is no significant difference in disease-free survival or overall survival based on the timing, whether it's before or after. So it's in the NCCN guidelines. So you could find a line here, the fourth one, saying after surgical evaluation, patient who's probably going to get adjuvant can be treated with induction instead. And then if it's target therapy, there's a lot of trials and ongoing data that shows some correlation between NPR and OS. But it's only at a level of clinical trial. And neoadjuvant immunotherapy just by itself, not with chemo combined, there is some phase 2 studies, and there have been shown MPR, which is major pathological response, in quite a large percentage. And the toxicity profile, which can be concerning, immunotherapy was manageable, and then it would not have a detrimental effect on getting the surgery right. So just going back to the guideline, what's already accepted, what's already incorporated in the guidelines is that there is strong consideration of nivolumab, which is a PD-1 inhibitor already in the guidelines, or pembrolizumab with chemotherapy. And this is largely based on a very important trial, which I will mention later, is this trial, which I will go back later. And also there are some so I'll just move on. But at the moment it seems like Nivo with chemo or pembrolizumab with chemo. Let's move on. And then these are the current what are ongoing trials in the landscape of resectable, which is I guess early, and unresectable non-squamous cell lung cancer. And if you see the checkpoint 816 was the trial that made Nivo plus chemo be incorporated into the guidelines. And then the ones in red, the ones in red are something that are approved, and there's ongoing ones. They're all color coded. Moving on. So this
go
is the
back.
important checkpoint 816
Go back.
trial.
Can you go back?
So I would just mention that it's
Can you-
a phase 3 randomized, and
Do you hear me?
patients with stage 1B2 3A non-squamous cell lung cancer, and one arm got neoadjuvant plus platinum chemo, the other got just platinum doublet chemo. So the results was very significant, showing that median event-free survival was significantly different. This is sorry. Oh, speaker is off? Yeah. Go back. Oh, from when? From now?
Can you go back?
You want me to speak louder?
No.
Can you hear me?
I don't know. Do you hear?
Oh, okay.
Do you
Sorry.
hear me? Do you hear me now?
Dr. Chae, did you say something?
Yeah. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you go back? And this one, yes. So I have comments.
Uh-huh.
So this is neoadjuvant. I think it's been a while. So this is outdated slide where the neo plus adjuvant trial, there's 2 trials, Nivo chemo and the Pembro chemo are already approved
Oh,
as
yeah.
as a sandwich. Anyway, Nivo chemo, Pembro chemo, both are approved, and neo plus adjuvant, like it call it sandwich approach.
Yeah, so like you mentioned, it's in the NCC guidelines, so it's missing here. I guess what we could get from this slide is that there's other stuff going on in like targeted therapy, also going on chemo, also going, although they're probably a little outdated as well, that are ongoing. So there's a lot of room for multiple drugs to be approved for neoadjuvant. And going to the checkpoint 816. Give me 1 minute while I bring up my feature. So one of the things that was really interesting was pathological complete response, which is no cancer after in the surgical species was 24% compared to 2.2%. And also that it's very superior in terms of event-free survival as well as we could see. And I do want to show that I did make a summary of all the currently ongoing trials and put them into one Excel sheet. So this is my list of neoadjuvant. Most of them have adjuvant, like as you said, sandwich trial, and these are all RTC. I'm assuming they're all RTCs, and then phase 3, and for early non-squamous cell lung cancer patients. And these are the trials, ongoing trials, and if you with their phase 3 with these stage patients and most of them are PD-L1 or PD-L1 ligand inhibitors in a sandwich adjuvant regimen to follow, immuno regimen to follow, and the control arm is chemo. And the primary outcome, most of them, as we could see, are pathological response, and the event-free survival. And the results were pretty significant, as you could see. Was definitely significant difference, statistically significant difference. And the thing is that the survival, which is OS, is, we're still waiting for the like overall survival or the results to mature, I guess.
Yeah, if you look at the path CR 17, 18, it was 24 with the checkmate 816.
Yeah. Um
And what about event-free survival? Age-in is 73 month, right? Well, but it doesn't give us the, well, HR was 0.68. Keynote 671 is HR 0.58. Let's go back to Keynote, Checkmate A16.
Slide.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So hazard ratio, you didn't catch.
Yeah, it's here, I think. No, sorry, this one doesn't have it for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
So what I'm trying to say is they're similar.
Yeah,
We don't know who to add adjuvant therapy to because the less may be more.
yeah, and a lot of them said it's regarding of uh the subgroups. They showed like pretty consistent effects. And these are just some other trials
Yeah.
with results, and it's pretty, like, I would say, consistent. The overall picture is
Where'd you
consistent.
find this picture?
It's an app that I use called what do I call it? The app
Visual Med?
name. I didn't make it.
No, it says
Uh,
Visual Med.
Visual Med, yeah. It's an app and it has some clinical trials and studies in a very easy to see format, and regardless of specialty, like there could be stuff on, I don't know, diabetes. So I just summarized some questions can be answered after reading. And so can PCR and MPR, oh sorry, this is wrong slide, can use as a surrogate for progression-free survival or overall survival. So so in Checkmate A16, it did show that there was improved progression pathological response rate associated with improvement. Sorry, I'm just kind of sleepy. So I'm just getting confused, but there was an associated improvement in Checkmate A16.
Mm-hmm.
And proponents of the overall survival is a little tricky, possibly tricky in neoadjuvant studies, considering that there is potential toxicities, immunotoxicities that patients may not necessarily need to be exposed to in the early stages.
Yep.
So in terms of that, we do need to wait for the OS. That's what they're trying to say.
Yes, I
Um,
agree with that because some people may die early because of the side effect. So it's not just the pathologic CR that is important. Yeah.
but the good news is that the neoadjuvant therapy wouldn't compromise time to surgical resection, but based on the available data that I summarized, as well, including the data I've summarized, it's did not adversely impact operability.
Mm-hmm.
And Checkmate A16 and Nadim 2 did not lower the rates of getting surgery or the change in the operation itself in a bad way, including postoperative complications. And so what about adding radiation to the mix prior to surgical resection? And I saw a patient who was enrolled in that trial while I was with Dr. Chae last
Oh
Friday.
yeah.
So especially maybe towards the later stages like 3A, and then you get adjuvant immunocheck inhibitor. Would that give us a promising result such as Checkmate A16? So there is actually NCCN says consider in resectable stage, especially more so to the pancreas tumors. And there's all these trials, um, but we don't really have anything yet is my understanding. Anything conclusive yet? Mm, and what would, so moving on to number 5, what effect would showing there is viable residual tumor following neoadjuvant chemo and immunotherapy have effects on the patient getting the second part of the sandwich, the adjuvant. And what was interesting was that they mentioned that it's difficult to like do a randomized trial not giving adjuvant and then giving adjuvant is, that's very difficult realistically. But one thing that could help us is exploring ctDNA because in the including the checkmate 816 and another trial forgot showed that if it shows some correlation. So if there's ctDNA, it was like a bad sign. If they did not have ctDNA, it showed that the event-free survival was longer. And the last final question is that
Can you go
what
back? Can you go
Mhm.
back to that slide?
Yeah.
So for you, can you look up key vibe, key link, checkmate 73, and figure out, what is the design of the trial? What are they trying to achieve
Mhm.
by doing the trial? So just look what they are and let me know what you find tomorrow.
Yep.
And then number 5, a viable residual tumor in patient with PD-L1 positive. So I think the PD-L1 doesn't have to be positive. So
Yeah.
PD-L1 positive was required for atezo adjuvant, but for pembro it was working for both. But anyway, so viable residual tumor can be found from blood, so that's why we can use ctDNA. And in 816, ctDNA clearance did correlate very well with EFS. So we know that for a fact. The thing is, it's not that sensitive. Still, we're missing a lot. But if it's detectable after surgery, something's still in your body, right? So I do think we can use that. Yeah, next.
Final question is, what is the role of induction therapy in what is unresectable stage? According to the current like guidelines, I guess, what we would consider unresectable, but through the neoadjuvant, we could downstage the tumor into resectable. Oh, I think I've seen that in here. I think I've seen cases here where we downgrade the tumor, I think, and this went through surgery. Like last time I was here, I'm not too sure. So in terms of chemotherapy, which has more studies showing I guess what is a surrogate, the PCR rate was not too bad, but like 5 to 10.
But
Um,
that's the chemotherapy,
yeah,
right?
chemo.
Immunotherapy could be up to 24%, right?
Yeah, it's much higher, much higher.
Oh yeah, okay.
And yeah, so and then actually there was radiological downstaging as well by 6% in the checkmate 816 trial. But apparently there's not much active trials or data regarding this in particular, was what the journal said. Um,
Okay.
and that wraps up my presentation. I wasn't sure how to focus on the immunotoxicity part. Um, I wasn't really sure how to approach, so I kind of did more of trying to get understanding of what's going on first.
Yeah. Tomorrow to about 2 o'clock, Carolyn is coming, so you could join the meeting. Carolyn has done meta-analysis on neoadjuvant, adjuvant, and palliative chemoimmuno approach and compared toxicity. So you can come and join that meeting.
Yep.
But I think it's pretty comprehensive. Can you go back to the first number 2 slide?
This is terminology.
Yeah. So I just wanted to emphasize, we're looking at recurrence is event. So that's what EFS is. Major is less than 10% viable tumor. CPR is 0 tumor. So this one study found that each additional percentage point of viable tumor was significantly associated with 1% increase in risk of death and decrease in disease survival. So this, let's find this paper, like how they showed it.
It's down here, this one in the bottom. Do you want me to find
Yeah.
it now?
Yeah. Well, you can take a note and show it to me after this meeting. It's okay. But we need to know what setting, what therapy, right? And then what histology, what stage. But this was lung cancer, right? So
Yeah.
yeah. So this is a pretty good landmark paper. Okay, next.
Oh, okay.
So here T1 less than 3, T2 3 to 5, T3 5 to 7, T4 7 or greater. But then you have invasion criteria.
Yeah.
Yeah. M1A is contralateral lung or pleural fluid. M1B is single met. M1C is multiple. So for double lung, we're aiming for M1A that has no pleural or pericardial involvement. So just the lung involvement within the M1A, regardless of T1, and we're all okay with N1, but not okay with N2 or 3. Next.
I see.
Here, tislelizumab, toripalimab. I think those are all Chinese drugs that are
Yeah.
getting approved. Toripalimab is not nasopharyngeal. Tislelizumab, where is the indication for this?
Um, not for lung cancer for sure, but I don't know. I can't remember these things. I
Yeah,
think,
look it up. Let's talk about it. At next.
and then I noticed that Nivo EP, like it has been more used in like melanoma and stuff, but in lung cancer, there's like trial like stage phase 2 trials showing toxicity, and they had to stop and stuff like that. How do I search for this?
Yeah,
Currently under.
yeah. No. Just take a memo and look it up. I'll
Oh
just
yeah, sure.
next slide.
Yep.
Yes. So rationale, I think it's great. The last sentence, tumor-specific T cells, these expanded T cell clones may facilitate both improve PFSOS by targeting immune evasion in the short and longer term. The long term is called immunological memory, that chemo is going to work while chemo is still in your blood, versus you boosted your immune cell, so there is creation of immunological memory. And then these memory T cells will find any recurrent cells, even if you're off any therapy, that these T cells will still surveil.
Yeah.
So that's why we like to add immunotherapy. Next.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. neoadjuvant targeted therapy is working well. Neoadjuvant immunotherapy. We talked about NPR of 20 to 40%, manageable toxicity. So that's why we're incorporating it. And they have sintilimab is another Chinese drug. They're aggressively coming to market. Next. So this is the current guideline that strongly endorses checkmate A16, 4 centimeter or node positive is the indication. And for chemo, you can use Taxol, PEM, GEM. Yeah. Okay, next.
It's the same information. So I'll move on.
Okay.
This as we mentioned
Yeah,
earlier.
I think we talked almost. So I just want, because you guys are doing the EDW, and I want you to get the full idea of why we're doing what we're doing. So I do think this is a good learning opportunity for you. And I think this is the progress we want to make. Cure more early stage, and we don't want recurrent disease. Any questions, anybody? No? Okay.
Doctor, actually one thing, Dr. Chae, you mentioned something about comparing the immunotoxicities of early stage and already known, metastatic or advanced stage. It was that I didn't understand the question. Is it comparing like grade 3, 4 and like things like that? Adverse events. I
Yeah,
think you mentioned it. I'm not sure if I
grade
heard
3,
it.
4. Yeah, severe adverse events.
And seeing these adverse effects, like it's unnecessarily could hinder surgery in, I guess, early
Yeah.
stage.
Very good. Okay, before we wrap up, any comments, anything? All right, very good. I'll see you guys next week. Thank
See you next
you.